Hello, my beautiful Sagittarius family. I hope you are doing really well here as we usher in a new, powerful, very different year with very different energy that we will be having an ongoing discussion about, I am sure, for many months to come as we navigate it together and as, we figure out our footing within that. So January to me, like honestly, just in general, the note for everyone is like, you really just got to find your footing in this new energy and not be like in too quick of a expectation of yourself to have just figured it out already, because it's such a different flavor. Having Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, totally different atmosphere. Mars is moving out of a 6-month stay in Aries, so we've gotten kind of used to this intense, kind of agitated Mars and Aries energy. It's moving into Taurus, having a completely different conversation. We've just finished all these shifts and things in December, and so January comes in, and we got to find our footing. We've got to figure out what it is we're working with now and get a lay of the land. And for Saggies, I am loving this message, and it kind of ties into some of the themes that have been coming up for all of us and anybody with Sag energy with the south node of the moon in Sagittarius, which is we got to come back to some building block basics in order to zoom back out. So that message is coming through here again, because one of the cool things is Aquarian energy flows so great with Sagittarian energy. So Saturn and Jupiter, to me, it's just like, that is some sextiling magic, and Sag and Aquarius, you both want to like explore different energies and explore who you're going to be and not stick to the same rules. So there's a lot of exploration. But the thing with that is it comes back to how you incant your life into being, how you talk about your life, how you talk about your joys, your experiences, your curiosities, how you talk about what you want to build into this life, and how much power and magic there is in coming back to the basics of nourishment, nourishing thoughts, nourishing stories, nourishment in the divine practices of the magical mundane, as I like to call it, where we find ritual and healing and nourishment in our physical body and in the mundane practices. So all of these themes are coming up for Sagittarius in January. And this is the type of magic that at first glance can feel a little aggravating in the sense that it is not going to initially explode your world. However, over the course of January, you may be shocked at how much comes together if you're willing to work with this energy. And I say this because we have Mars direct and Uranus direct and Mars moving into Taurus. These energies in Taurus help you connect with your physical body, your daily rituals, how you show up to life. And then all the energy in Aquarius is having you come back to the version of story you tell in the small details. So these are really powerful, empowering energies. I also love it though, because there's little nods to the bigger picture, why it matters that you're nourishing in now. Why it matters that January needs to be a time where you come back to those spaces, because we have a full moon in Leo, which is just going to illuminate that there is this bigger path, that there is this bigger map of things that are going to come together and converge. So you're going to get little hints of it throughout the month, but you're also going to be coming back to the daily incantations. The daily incantations, what are those incantations to you? How are you working with it? And you're going to be noticing that there's a lot of potency in that practice right now. Like this year, there's going to be a ton of potency for Sag in that particular area of life. The other thing I want to mention just with the astrology this month, which is quite low-key, there is a Mercury retrograde beginning at the very end of the month in Aquarius, and we do have Uranus going direct, but overall, we're not dealing with eclipses, we're not dealing with huge shifts. Venus and a new moon in Capricorn are going to be coming back to your Venusian house of the senses and enjoyment. So also enjoy that part of the journey before we hit Aquarius season. So I'm going to pull 3 cards this month from my classic deck. 2 cards already want to come out. 4 of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Yep. That makes so much sense. It's exactly what I was saying. You're coming back to a reset point. You're coming back to the magic of the mundane, and that is opening things for you. That is the way you unlock doors right now. So it's really powerful energy, and it's quite potent. So keep that in mind. And 2 of Cups. Hello. Okay, I love that. Okay, and then I'm going to pull one card from my Cosmic Tarot. And this is the overarching message. This is the message that wants to kind of stick. If there was one thing you were going to take away from our conversation today about January, how to work with January, how to work with January's energy, it's going to have something to do with the message that comes out of my Cosmic Tarot card and shifts things around. 8 of Pentacles. Yes, that's so perfect. Actually, let's start there. Overarching message, 8 of Pentacles. I just even love this image, you know, because she's just sitting there with the rose bush. You know, you think about a rose bush, this is like the longer process, right? Of gardening, of tending to something, of coming back to the ritual magic of like every day checking in with your process, with your creations. How powerful. You're building something important this year. And like I said, this year is going to open up more and more and more. It's going to be somewhat of a gradual process with little jolts every once in a while. And in Nourishing right now, and coming back to 8 of Pentacles, which is you're working at something. You're not just sitting still and kind of like floating along and being like, maybe one day I'll be able to be my full Sag self again, and I'll be able to shine bright and fully express what I consider as my beautiful Sagittarius gifts. Maybe one day. It's like you're going to be building into something, crafting something. But you're going to have to start small-ish, right? You're going to have to allow that maybe it's only going to be, for the example of like writing a book, you know, you may only get a paragraph out in a session. That's something. That's something powerful. So the 8 of Pentacles is there as a reminder of this is the kind of modality you will be working in January as you get settled into this new energetic atmosphere. Let's talk about these other cards though, because they're also really fun. So 4 of Swords, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, this is the deep of winter, right? And January for many of us is not our most energetic time. And honestly, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and you're somewhere where you have a real summer, it's going to be pretty hot too. So that can also kind of put you into a reverie of thought and reflection, right? So this is a great energy to re-center. Come back to a resting point. It's a culmination. It's understanding how you've changed and grown in the last year. It's understanding how you've changed and grown while Saturn and Jupiter were in your neighboring sign of Capricorn. It's understanding what this last year brought about, right? And just giving yourself that moment. And I think that's so important in January, not to be in a rush. You know, I kind of like the Lunar New Year timing better because January to me feels like a very artificial new beginning. You're still in the heart of something deep and dark. So this is a really important active process in many ways. We think of it as inactive, but it's that great paradox where like in resting in, we actually give ourselves the advantage of being able to go outward, because that's the thing. That's the thing. And I'm just, it's my favorite thing to sit down with Sages and have warm, inviting, creative, connective, playful cards, because that's what it's all about in the Sag family. And when we can actually get to play with that, it's the best. So for me, this is a change of season in life. There is a change of modality. You know, this year you're going to be noticing like the themes are different and what you're building into is different. And things that you were waiting on to kind of like click into that gear where you could start opening that chapter. You know, you may have kind of been waiting. It's kind of like a cliffhanger, like waiting for that next installment of the book. You're like, this energy, especially Wheel of Fortune, is telling me that something is clicking into place. Something is shifting. Something is deepening. and coming into greater clarity that starting this month, right? Because Wheel of Fortune to me, it's such a big card. It's a number 10, which means it's closing a cycle, it's opening a cycle, it's shifting the pieces. So this is kind of its own moment, and almost January for me is like between the Eight of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. This is your work. It's like that moment between two worlds. But there is something going on here with commitment, with committing your energy in, right? And yes, for those of you in relationship or in some kind of partnership, that's deepening. And I'm only saying that with Two of Cups, I'm only saying that for partnerships that are nourishing to you and to the other person, and partnerships that are supportive of you. Things that are supportive of you, things that are nourishing are going to grow this month. They're going to build. They're going to get louder. Conversely, I will say this. Your ruling planet Jupiter in Aquarius is a very blunt energy. So is Saturn in Aquarius, actually. Things that are not feeding your soul will be speaking to you as well. The things that won't fit into your mundane magic, the things that won't fit into your sense of magic and cohesion in the world are really going to stick out for you. If they don't fit into that Venusian joy of the senses, if they don't fit into that beautiful incantation of your life, you're going to notice them more. And the goal here this month, Saggies, you have so much supportive energy here. It's just like nourishing. This is a new season of life, and you can start to access it right now in these little magical kernels of goodness. But you're also not supposed to take everything with you from last year. And there will still be little pieces trying to come along for the ride, trying to masquerade as something that you need to bring with you. Now, I don't think actually this month you're going to be, the focus isn't going to be on the stuff that you don't want to bring with you. The focus is much more going to be on the things that are working, on the things that are in your day-to-day working. And the focus is going to be on the rest. And the focus is going to be on noticing what this new season is. I think that's a really fun practice too, is to kind of just note, whether really literally writing it down or just thinking through it, noting what this season is, noting how you react to things differently maybe, or noting how you're seeing things differently, or noting how you're connecting with your physical body differently. You know, as we go through this life, our relationship to our physical is always morphing and changing, and it can be really interesting after a powerful season of life and a shift into a new season of life to kind of do a body scan and notice how that connection has changed. And this is also a great month to nourish in on relationships that matter to you and to check in with those relationships and harmonize. It's all about these simple and in some ways more domestic things. And, you know, honestly, Saggies, I don't know that that's necessarily always like what Sagittarian energy is all about. It's like, it's big, it's bold, it's juicy, it's about the play and the fun and the excitement. But there's definitely a part of you that loves the anchoring in. And that is what your whole homework assignment for this month is. And you will start to notice that it builds into something big and powerful. I have a New Year blessing for you to take with you, because I'm just so excited to see Sages fully lit up in their glory again. And that's via rest, via devotion to the little details, via connecting to your body, and just taking some time to connect. Here is your blessing. May this year blossom and bloom into beautiful, sustainable experiences of joy. Love that one. May you welcome the changes pouring forth from your heart. May the unfolding be full of grace, love, connection, laughter, and new perspectives. When I read those, I get full body shivers. Not to like toot my own horn or anything, but they're just so warm. They make me think about, and I know in this world that we're living in right now, this is like an even more meaningful vision than it's ever been. It just makes me think about that feeling when you sit around a table of people that you just really love, you know, maybe friends you haven't seen for a while, or like just your favorite people, and you're having a great meal, maybe playing a game and just laughing, and you just feel that like that sense of like, wow, this is such a great moment. That to me, like those blessings feel like that. I think that type of experience is on its way back to us, but it will take time. So that's why we have to kind of come back to our daily devotions and our daily rituals, and crack our souls and spirits open to that possibility again, very slowly and gently, and just get prepared for those shifts ahead. And we can do that. We can start to, you know, do the hidden, unseen work so that we meet the world with that light. And I think, Sages, it's really important you take care of your light, you take care of your energy, you take care of yourselves, because we need your buoyancy and your optimism and your warmth and your crackling spirit that brings us all together. We need your energy and light, which means you have to take really good care of yourselves, and you have to honor that as a sacred duty. So I'm telling you that right now, whether you like it or not. And it's really important. And I think sometimes we just need that reminder. Like, it's important for you to take care of yourself and protect your light and nourish your light and let it shine bright, so that as this year unfolds, it gets brighter and brighter and louder until that party is fully in swing. And I see that here, and it's so awesome. And I'm so excited to see what this next season of life for Sages brings with it. I think, you know, this year is a year where the South Node will continue to be in Sagittarius. So we're going to be continuing to kind of work in a different modality. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be full of adventure and surprise. It just means that we're doing it from a little different place than usual. I will be offering nuggets of nourishment and little chats and teas over on Patreon if you're looking for more insight into what's going on in January and just a cozy place to hang out. So I'll leave my Patreon link in the description box. I will also leave my link to Instagram and my website where you can find me. So all that'll be in the description box. And you can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry in her Etsy shop. I will leave her link below as well. Have a beautiful and abundant and loving and connected January. Take such impeccable care of yourselves, and I will talk to you so soon, my beautiful Sag family. You know how much I love you.